Kia ora koutou, no mai haere mai, and welcome to Frogs on Friday, where we will go through what's happening in the world of employment. Now, as usual, we'll start off with Mahi Media to see what's been hitting the press recently, go through some of the hot jobs that we have at the moment, and I'm joined by our guest consultant, Kirsty Henegan, this week to talk about working holiday makers, the working holiday visa scheme, and why taking that on can come with great benefits. We'll go through our Twitter polls as usual, and that's it for the show. So let's start off with Mahi Media. Okay, so as you may have guessed, the theme for today is all around working holiday visas and that scheme. So if we go back to August, obviously we haven't had much action in that space over the last couple of years with COVID. So the government put through a number of changes to try to increase the number of people available to help stem some of that labour shortage. So in August, we had some quite key changes come through. So the main one was doubling the number of visas available. So this means that there could be up to 12,000 more working holiday makers come through to New Zealand over the next 12 months or so. Another key change was to extend the visas for those who were already on working holiday visas and already in New Zealand. So those were extended for an extra 6 months to be able to make the most of those extra workers. So it will be really interesting to see how big an impact those changes will have on easing labour shortages around New Zealand, particularly across the tourism and hospitality sector, who really need that extra hand up to be able to cater with demand and to keep their industry going strong. So whether or not enough was done and whether it was done soon enough, we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully those changes will make an impact on this space. And definitely from our point of view, as we get closer to summer, we're starting to see more working holiday makers come through the Frog offices, and they're very welcome to register for work. And as I said, Kirsty will be on the show later on to talk about the benefits of that working holiday experience. But for now, let's have a look at some of the hot jobs that we have. Okay, so first up we have a NetSuite reporter. This is a temporary role based in Auckland and Penrose, looking at $50 per hour. So it's a 3-month temp role, and if you're immediately available, we're keen to hear from you. So for this, it's particularly looking at your experience with NetSuite and being able to create some search reports to help out, specifically to help the accounting and finance team. There will be some testing of data loads as well as reconciling to NetSuite as well. So either an accounting background or a familiarity with those processes will be an advantage for this, but the most important thing is your skill around the NetSuite data. If you're interested in this role, contact Shavneel in our Auckland office. Okay, the next role I might pass over to Kirsty to talk about this one.
Thanks, Shannon. So in terms of this position, it's a senior records technician or a document controller. In terms of the position, it is based over in Grafton and it's working for a healthcare company. So you will be leading a team of 2 people. So you need to have a strong understanding of records control, just because they will be coming to you for advice around different things. They are looking for someone that can work on just a couple of projects around disposal of some of the records, as well as working with an external supplier who's handling some of their records at the moment, to look at how they can dispose of those. In terms of your experience, ideally you'll have records management experience, but they are happy if you have come from a bit of a librarian background as well, because you'll have some of that knowledge. It is for around about 3 months, just while they do look for someone on a permanent basis. So if you are interested, then please do get hold of Manishka on the details shown on the screen.
Excellent. And the last one there, here we go, keeping up the suspense, is a credit controller position. So this one is offering a competitive salary. I believe it's a 12-month contract. Kirsty might be able to correct me on that if I've completely made that one up. But this one's looking at a range of duties around credit control. So looking at both allocated payments, special events and direct debits, as well as general collections. So your experience in accounts receivable or collections will be highly regarded for this role. If you're interested in this, get in touch with Simi, again from our Auckland office. It's a bit of an Auckland show today. Okay, so let's go through now. I believe we have a featured job video.
Hi there, my name is Chitra Gulati and today I'm representing Meg, who's a very experienced personal or executive assistant who's now looking for her next role. She offers approximately 15 years experience in this space and has been temping for the last few years. Meg has recently finished a temp contract as personal assistant to the Deputy Director General of a central government agency. She describes her strong work ethic as a strength. She's happy to go over the basic job requirements and do more. She enjoys learning new work skills in every role she undertakes. Meg is available immediately and has a preference to work from home 2 days a week. If you have a role that might suit her skills, get in touch with me on 04 978 6610. Thanks for watching.
Okay, hi Kirsty. As I was saying earlier, we're starting to see some of the working holiday makers come back, and it's really exciting, isn't it? It's been a while since we've been able to walk through the door first place, but since we've seen them coming through. So what are you going to tell us about today?
I think I just wanted to go through, yes, it is really exciting to finally see people coming back in on working holiday visas. But yeah, I think I wanted to go through just in terms of when you are coming over, kind of what to expect. I think obviously depending on what you're looking for, whether you're looking for the like a short-term thing, a lot of people are doing their OE because they want an OE, so they want to take a step back from the career and just do some short-term contracts while they travel around New Zealand. And if that's the case, then that's an area that we would definitely be able to support with. So we do get things on a short-term basis just to cover people's company's needs, basically. But the other side, where I think people sometimes think that it is more of just those kind of like admin business support kind of roles, is there are opportunities for your career. So, I mean, I came over on my working holiday visa, and I know Remy in our Sydney office, he started in more of a business support role with us as well. And there's been that opportunity there for him to move into a marketing manager position, and then for myself as a senior consultant. So if you are coming over and you're thinking that you might want to stay, then there are opportunities within businesses that may start off as a temp opportunity. It might not start in the role that you're thinking that you want to lead into. But once you get into a business and they see what you can do, there's opportunities to move around and grab that role that you are looking for. And alternatively, I think because we are in that candidate short market, there's definitely opportunities there as well for you to go into something that is within your career. So you don't really need to take a step back if that's not what you're looking to do. So yeah, I think that was one of the main kind of things that I wanted to discuss. And then I know we've got Kaylee starting with us in a couple of weeks, and a couple of questions she's been asking is around locations. So it's always good to have a bit of a look at the locations and maybe some of the roles that are within that area, how you'd be able to travel, transport links, that kind of thing, just so that you know that you are actually going to be able to make it, and that you're not moving into the middle of somewhere.
Yeah, it's definitely really important to do research, but also to, ask those questions that the rest of us who are living here already take for granted. And, you know the places where to live and where to avoid and which ones are a nightmare for public transport, all those little things. So make sure that you're asking those questions and can really work out the logistics as well. I think that's a good point that you made, that starting a working holiday can have humble beginnings, but it can turn into a really great career in a lot of cases. So you mentioned Remy. I know he loves to say how he started out in a data entry role. Yeah. I do have to protest and say it was always more than just data entry, but it's about seizing those opportunities as well, and you can a lot of the time you can turn it into something more substantial. So some great reasons to get on board. So if there are working holiday makers or people contemplating that, how should they get in touch with you to find out a little bit more and to, scope out what temp opportunities are available?
Yeah, definitely. So I think if you do want to get in contact with me, then my details are shown below. So I personally look after the Auckland branch, but if you do want to get in contact with anyone else from our team, then there's numbers that are going to be shown below there as well. But yeah, happy to have a chat around if you are looking for something short term or if you are looking for that next step in your career.
Beautiful. One more thing I wanted to say on that, actually. So we've talked about how you can use that for your career, or some people are going, well, actually, I want to put my career on hold and just do something completely different to get a new experience and focus on all the fun that can be had as well. What are some of the, easier options to get work quickly?
Good question. In what sense?
Sorry, I stitched you up there, put you on the spot. I just know from experience, so some people, let's say they've started a legal career, or they've done their studies and they want to make sure that they're not missing out on time, so they'll go into, say, legal secretary roles on their working holiday, and we've had a lot of experience with that. Whereas others are the opposite and go, I want to put that aside, and maybe I want to work in retail or hospitality. We know there's a huge demand there. So, lots of different options to be able to, I think temping gives you that chance to be able to experience new things and just to broaden your horizons and maybe take a bit of pressure off yourself as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think also partnering with a recruitment agency is quite good because you'll get exposure to roles that you might not even know about, and to companies that you don't know about. So it's very easy to, probably with hospitality, you come over and see it in the window. But I think in terms of some of those other roles, retail, business support, if you are just looking to take a bit of a step back and just cover on your OE, then with partnering with an agency, it just means that, you'll get a little bit more exposure. You might hear about a role that you've never even heard about before, but it matches your skill sets and you can easily do. And it just brings in a little bit more money for you as well.
Excellent. Well, some good options there. Thanks, Kirsty.
No worries.
let's go through now and see what happened on the polls last week. Okay, so we asked about how relevant is your university qualification to your current job. So the results are in, and the biggest response was 43% said, well, it's somewhat relevant, and then a pretty even split between very relevant and not relevant at all. So a bit of a mixed bag on that one. And what's our poll for this week? Okay, so keeping on the international travel theme, are you considering moving overseas to work in 2023? So hopefully, I know that there's a lot of people who have been champing at the bit, waiting for the chance for the borders to reopen and to take off and have that overseas experience. Hopefully, some of you will still stay here in New Zealand and be able to be open to the opportunities here as well. But I suspect there might be a few who will take up that chance to go further ashore, but we'll see next week. Okay, so that is it for the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Ngā mihi nui.